Hey, Dennis, it looks like you're still connected to the echo test. Okay, 6 USY. Hey, Dennis, it looks like you're still connected to the echo test. Okay, 6 USY. Hey, Dennis, it looks like you're still connected to the echo.
All right, I think my audio looped through is good. I'm not sure what I'm hearing there. All right, so that audio is good.
Happy New Year, Kansas LW.
Hey. Let me turn that up. Uh-oh. Okay, on that.
Yeah, you're still connected to the echo test server.
Okay, why won't it disconnect?
Yeah, you're still connected to the echo test server.
Oh, I see. I've got to select which one I want to disconnect. There you go. Yeah, I see. I've got multiple connections, so I have to pick one, or else it disconnects everybody.
Hello, radio. Anybody on frequency for a radio check before the net?
This is the Hello Radio frequency. Go ahead, over.
Yep, you're good now. Okay.
Good evening, Dennis. Tony in Course Gold. How you doing this evening?
I am doing well. I think I'm actually in the air chair and almost ready to go.
Okay, did you get my questions that I sent you?
Yes, I believe they. You have the proper email because they do show up.
Okay, that's great. I was just wondering if maybe you can give me some feedback sometime. What do you think?
Okay. Well, I never had a Viking Valiant, but I do have a radio that does have the 6146s in it, and I think they only had two. But let's see, the other one was it 1160? Defunct CIAM. I was not familiar with that radio station. It sounds like it's a Canadian station, but I'm not sure.
Okay, yeah, that was pretty interesting. That Radio Americas. You can find out more information if you look up Radio Swan.
Okay, because usually it says CIA AM, but usually a C call was for Canada.
Okay, and the O2 radio net came up Friday morning if you guys were interested, and I emailed them the information, and our friend down there in San Felipe, Baja, out California, that does the net on the Echolink. I gave him the Echolink KB6GFD, so maybe, I don't know if he's going to tune in tonight or not, so...
Okay, yeah, Echolink is, you don't hear audio on that, but if you go onto the YouTube or just to the ultraradio.net, you don't need to have any pictures going on, you'll hear the audio with it. Echolink is basically just an audio feed for transmit. All right, very good. Thanks for doing the Friday net, and at some point on my schedule, we'll get back to where I can get on that thing.
Thank you again.
All right, yeah, thanks for doing the Friday net, and my schedule, hopefully we'll get back to where I can get on that again.
Okay, we'll take a standby, let you start the net. We'll be standing by.
Okay, and I think I do have everything set up to get started here, so I will attempt to, as they say, commence to begin.
You may not find us on your TV, because in case you did not know, we're being brought to you by
OTR.
Brought to you by
27.085 megahertz.
Brought to you by RADI.
The Old Tube Radio Network.
yes, the old, what do they call it? The old tired tube radio network. Do I have audio? Hopefully I don't have too much. Let me get the control room camera. We are having a big New Year's Eve party here. I have brought out the leisure suit, and we are partying like it is 1976. That was a good year. That was the year that they went 40 channels, I think. But anyway, I hope whatever year you're celebrating, if it hasn't happened already, is going well. The old Tube Radio Network, Real Radio's Glowing in the Dark, here on Channel 11. That's 27085. If you've got one of the readout displays. And we are here to promote the use and distribute information about old tube radios when we can do that, and also for those that do have the infamous tube radios from those years when they were produced, to let people get them on the air, drive around the block, and see if they still work. Maybe check out some microphones or things of that nature. The shortwave listeners who join us from just about everywhere, we'll be talking with them, checking them in quickly here as we go through the roll call. So hope you had a good 2022. If you didn't, there's another year starting where you can kind of see if you can fix whatever didn't go right for the last 364 days. Is there anybody? I see some early check-ins on the chat area, so a good deal. I will get those. Are there any stations here locally that would like to get checked in on Channel 11? Over. Yeah, it is a quiet night tonight, and this is. Oh, what are they saying? There's no pocket protector. Oh, this. It's on my desk. All right. Well, I don't even know. I don't even know if a pocket protector would go in a leisure suit. Which pocket is it supposed to be? This one? I don't know. Let me try this while we're getting ready to. Are these real pockets? Okay. Yeah. Okay. It worked. I don't think that's. I mean, this is dirty enough. I don't think that's going to fit in there. Now, this is a real pocket. Trying to get the pocket open to see if the pocket protector will go into the proverbial pocket, unless there's something in there. No. All right, here we go. Is it happening? Hey, look at that. Now, isn't that cool? That's pretty good. I like that. It's roll call. Let's try. Let's see if 147 is in on the chat. He will be by occasionally at some point, and I will get Neil checked in. Oh, a lot of people out there doing their thing. I see some early check-ins. I will get those. SWL number 1, of course, and number 2. Let me see if I can find a working pen. Mr. OBP, who is out and about. Hello, Kevin. Out and about on the oldtuberadio.net video thing going on. So we've been having some decent numbers, sunspot numbers, but as you can hear, there was not a, as they say, not a speck of skip as we started the net tonight. And I don't know if JT had any on Old Radio Night. We'll have to find out with that. SWL number 3, I will give Rob a check-in. There was another crash, bang, boom going on with the Old Tube Radio Network data page, and so it appears that we are again without our tube radio database. We'll see if that can be remedied ever. So get back on that.
Break OTR.
And the break OTR, go ahead, please.
24, check it in.
All right, thanks, Joseph. We got you checked in. And let me call for any early calls again on the check-ins. And again, I know there's some on the Facebook page. I'm trying to adjust my headphoniums here so I don't get feedback. This is a most uncomfortable suit. How could it's first of all, it's polyester, so it's good that it's only 60-something degrees in this room. It was 85. This would be more of a nightmare than it looks. SWL4. SWL5, Mr. Levon, from the off-the-shelf radio fame in New York, where I believe is it? Yeah, the big ball coming off of the wherever it goes off of has reached the bottom, and so it is the new year there. SWL7.
Number 7 checking in and wishing everyone a happy and healthy new year.
It should be good. We are certainly hoping that it will be. Anyway, thanks for joining us tonight in the Old Tube Radio Network. Making a few adjustments here. Let's see. We are going to SWL 10 and possibly 30. Not sure if I've seen Chrissy on the board yet tonight, but when she shows up, I'm sure I will see the Jumping Dolphins. We'll get a check-in there. Let's go to SWL 11. Dan and company, Cornbread is in. I see you there. I don't know if anybody said Fresno, but we're waiting for the gunfire to commence here in a couple of hours. SWL is 12, and I think I have Dapper Dan beat tonight. There is no way to be more dapper than donning your leisure. There's stuff in the pockets. What is this? There's things in the pocket. Well, that's what's. Hey, here we go. Jerry Lewis Telethon. All right, I probably wore this back in the days when we had a Jerry Lewis Telethon here in town, and we would go out and I'd probably run cameras or answer the phones or something. It was probably at the convention center, but there's the Jerry Lewis. Will that hang up here? No, let's not do that. All right, the Jerry Lewis Telethon button. Thank you, Dapper Dan. You've got to give me at least one number one spot this year for wardrobe. So this is it. 2023. I'm gonna be second place for sure. Let's go to SWL 13. And if I was a smart person, I would look over at the oldtuberadio.net site, where there are many of you, and you can leave a check-in there if you can actually get in to do that. Heading over to Sangertown, SWL 14.
Yeah, this is SWL 14, Sean and Sanger checking in, and sure am glad I found the net this year. I really enjoyed it, and looking forward to next year. Hope everybody has a great new year.
That is the intent of this particular station, and I'm sure most others listening. You are sounding very good right now tonight. We did get you proxied in last week, but you are sounding great for the last Old Tube Radio episode of 2022, and we're glad that you are here as well. Thanks for checking in.
Yeah, thanks. I'm glad to hear the Mark IV is making the trip. Apparently the Mark III has screamed its last cry this year.
Happy New Year there, Sean. Be the legend.
All right. Well, hopefully we'll get to the radios in time to see if we can get some others screaming radios as well. We are on the directed net roll call. 14 is in, 16 is in as well. Yeah, I figured, Charlie, that you were doing some type of a remote thing or something. Although Chet said to get you checked in, because he was probably wise to the fact that you are working in or listening in. The chat is working tonight, so the X is in the square. We're going to have hopefully just an uneventful program here with maybe one or two radios and ring out. We're going to get down. We're going to get up or get down on the new year. Let's go to SWL 17. And that's Eric. I saw him on a Facebook post. I'll look at the Carolina Kid checked in. Over to SWL 18, Mikey, who also asked to be checked in via Facebook, which I will do. SWL 19 up here on the, I don't know what we call this here, but it's got the cue cards as always, and says, oh, thanks. It says that Espresso Trucking Company did finally get their flight. I guess they were one of the Southwest Airlines kind of catastrophes or calamities, but they are here. The big red limo picked them up. They're eating all the goodies, but I think they will be performing what they should have been performing last week in our break. We'll put them in the break between the SWLs and the radios. So coming up with Espresso Trucking Company. Let's go over to SWL 20.
Oh, I made it back from work. I'm all wet, but I made it back. Number 20 here. Please check in 2954 and 135.
All right, I will get them in, and hopefully you are able or will be able to dry out a bit and rejoin us with the old Tube Radio Network. So we will do anyway. Don't create some electrical hazard and get yourself checked. And they're saying I should check my lights. I think all the lights are on. Got all the lights on. So thank you, Harvey.
You got it. My radio sounds like it's all wet. Okay, thank you.
Okay, now they said there's a simulcast going on, and I don't know what the delay is. This always gets a little bit tricky, but going over to SWL 21, probably about 10 seconds. So I'm going to bring, I think I've got audio. I'm going to bring up the audio. You'll hear a replay. Going on, and I don't know what the delay is. So I will say, hello, Dirty Diaper 21. It is your turn when it comes to you to check in live through the remote, over the air here in Fresno. We'll be listening for you on the old Tube Radio Network. Another coast-to-coast. I don't think this has ever been done on CB Radio. Here we go. The next thing you'll hear the voice of Dirty Diaper 21 checking in live from his old radio night. On the old Tube Radio Network. Another coast-to-coast. I don't think this has ever been done on CB Radio. Here we go. The next thing you'll hear the voice of Dirty Diaper 21 checking in live from his old radio night. On the old Tube Radio Network. Another coast-to-coast. I don't think this has ever been done on CB Radio. Here we go. The next thing you'll hear the voice of his cue. Dirty Diaper 21 checking in live from his old radio night on the old Tube Radio Network. Another
Happy New Year from 21, South Carolina.
Okay, and we got it. Let me go back to the live camera. Here in Fresno. Those watching the video, we're seeing a replay of the old Tube Radio Network over on old radio night. Okay. And you know, the leisure suit doesn't look too bad, traveling all the way to the Wasama Swamps. Thank you, 21. Got you checked in. Old radio night, where it is not quite, I don't think it's quite the new year there yet, but I could be wrong. Let's see if Tyler is on SWL 22 up from Alaska. Hello to San Jose, Auburn, Washington, up in the balcony tonight, station from Utah. And we've got some stations joining us for the first time tonight, somewhere near Pascagoula, Mississippi, where it is currently 59 degrees. With a little bit of fog. Hello to Hanford, California, Dallas, Georgia, coming up to you, Florence, Kentucky, Inez, Kentucky. Van Man is in Woodland Park, Colorado, with the beams pointed this way. I don't know. Doesn't look good for Skipland. Minneapolis and Belfast, that's Charles and Chet right here up, keeping me honest, and a host of others on your old Tube Radio Network. Direct and net roll call radios coming up. SWL 23 is entertaining the bigwigs for a New Year's Eve party. Said to make sure that he gets and checked in tonight, which I will do. And then I'm supposed to maybe turn up the volume. He said, make sure you turn the volume up so all the neighbors can hear when an Espresso Trucking Company gets on. Speaking of which, let me quickly go over to the Echo link where I do see that Tyler is on, so hopefully there's not too much of a delay. And I just went by 22. So Tyler, if you can hear me, give us a quick call here on the Echo link, KB6GFD. And sometimes it takes a while for the delay to come through. So if Tyler can hear us, we'll do that. Let me try, see if the Echo link is working. Let me try Dan. Sacramento Dan, are you listening on the Echo link? We'll say hello to you. Just make sure that I've got a functional item here. Hello, Dan, from KB6GFD.
Hey, Dennis. Here I am. And KA6RCZ here in Sacramento, where we have like 25 plus mile an hour winds, flickering lights, internet going up and down. So I am watching you on YouTube, but for how long, I do not know. I put a couple comments in the side. So nice leisure suit. Your lapels are too wide.
You're too wide. Yeah, these are the real deal here. This is truly 1976. Well, I pulled out the Jerry Lewis telethon sticker. There's probably other stuff in here as well. These pockets here. Oh, here we go. We got a biorhythm. Remember those? This is a biorhythm. Does it have a date on it? 12/12/1976. So about a month ago, so many years ago. So it is a 1976 suit here. Anyway, Dan, thanks for joining us. Say hello to the Wider Than Wide group down on wherever you are. I know you're not on 199, but hope everybody's having a great New Year. Thanks for joining us. The Echo link is working. Welcome back to the States. KB6GFD.
Happy trees to you, Dennis, and Happy New Year to you. And KA6RCZ is clear.
All right, we will continue on. There's just all sorts of, what are we seeing there? I don't know. It's the control room of DD21 just popped up there all of a sudden. 23 Skidoo is in. Echo Link worked good for that. So let's go to 24 is in. How about SWL 25? And he is celebrating, no doubt. Maybe he's in the band. I bet they have a gig tonight or something going on. So maybe they'll stop by later once it gets to be that time. I will get Jerry checked in because he was on the net the other night and sounding quite good. Let's go to page 2 for SWL 27. SWL 28, that is Gary, and we just heard from Sacramento Dan. Gary is also in Sacramento, and I think he needed an early check-in, probably be due for the same reason of strange weather and items of interest going on down there. So 28, if you are listening or trying to listen safely, we've got you checked in. Thank you. Also, a proxy check-in for SWL 29. We'll get a standby in SWL 30, SWL 31, SWL 32, SWL 33. Myself and Bozo Control here. And there was another item in this pocket. It is a card. So this must have been, I must have had a great Christmas. It's a Christmas card, and look at that. It is definitely a card to, or either to or from Bozo Control from long, long ago. So thanks for that. Let's go over to SWL 34. Getting Jimmy checked in. He is recuperating. I'm not sure if it's COVID or what, but saw a picture. It looks like he was doing well, and he should be back in his various air chairs shortly. So, Jimmy, if you're listening or watching or watch the replay, glad to see that you are getting up, getting down, wall to wall, and all that good stuff, and we'll look forward to your return to the airwaves here. There are the jumping dolphins. I noticed there was a little bit of water on the other side of the studio as they come through. So let's get SWL 30 and SWL 10 checked in. Thank you, Dwayne and Chrissy. Yes, we are awaiting the short haul skip if it is indeed to happen. Let's try SWL 35. I saw somebody from Wyoming in earlier. And there is 3. SWL 3. I didn't check my proper screen. 3 is checking in from the Universal Media NetWeb. And he says, let me see. He says the site is working again. I'm going over here and I'm going to refresh the page. The page is trying to refresh or not. Okay, I may have to close it and reopen it, but he says that all may be well in the items from old Tube Radio Network. It just is having a little bit of trouble coming up brand new. Anyway, got you checked in. Rob, I see Bill checking in from Cheyenne, Wyoming. Thank you, Bill. I know it has been cold there. Hopefully the Red Monkey Communications mobile unit is surviving okay in the bad weather. Hello to Alex, checking in from Crown Point, Indiana, formerly of Fresno. Well, thanks, Alex, from Six Land out in Nine Land. We've got a couple of Six Land stations that are away from California, but still check in. The old Tube Radio Network here right in Fresno. Thanks for joining us. Maybe I will catch you on the airwaves. Always have some good propagation to Indiana, even on 40 meters. Getting the guys on 40 late at night. Let's go over to SWL 36. 35 is in. And thank you, Neil. I probably scrolled by when you first checked in. So we got 00 and 147. So I'll go back and see if you gave me the info on that. I will go back and find out what's going on in Kakalaki. But we got you in both ways. Thanks. Over to SWL 37.
SWL 37. I want to wish everybody a happy New Year coming up here in a few hours. So I'll still be here.
Yeah, one of my New Year's resolutions was to stick around and be a bozo, so I think we'll try it.
Well, good. If you didn't be bozo, I don't know what we'd do.
Yeah, well, I think my other resolution should be buy a new suit. Anyway, you are sounding good, and I've got you checked in over.
Thank you, and I'll be back.
All right, that's a good thing. You're in the old Tube Radio Network. Listening for SWL 38. Always listening for Sam. He's got a setup where he's going to try and bust into Fresno here. Yeah, somebody said Fresno, but I don't know. Let's try SWL 39. Hey, there's Dr. Dan out between the old pickup and the haystack. I can hear you over. Hey, Happy New Year as well. Thanks for joining us on the last episode of 2022, and we will look for you at 2023. Dr. Dan, way out there in the cornfield with an X in the square. I just saw somebody. Oh, there is Gary. 28 checking in, heading up I-5 with the champagne to the green room for the OTR toast. We should have a toast. I think they're going to do it at midnight, so we will probably miss it on air. Drive carefully, and yeah, don't open the bottle before you get, or close it when you get to Fresno, or maybe it won't make any difference. Thanks for checking in, Gary from Sacramento, where it is blustery. Let's try SWL 40. I thought maybe he would try beaconing in from the basement. Perhaps not. Hello to... I just lost it. It was somebody, another station that's scrolled off my screen. Let's try SWL 41. Road Dog 507 is in. Checking in, of course, from the Hudson Valley, and Hudson Valley representing the Hudson Valley CB Radio Club, saying Happy New Year's to everyone, where it is close to time. Hello, Mark. John FOBD saying hello to everybody. Mark S checking in. SWL 42. SWL 43. And I'll get a proxy check-in for Crazy Eddie. Get a check-in for 44, who I heard last night beaconing in from around the corner, Squaw Valley. I always can hear him on sideband, but it's a bit tough on the AM. SWL 45, hello, Paul. Yeah, definitely. And there could be more. It is soaking in quite well here. The ponding basins around town that have been devoid of water and just about anything else. I mean, you can go down there and play football and kick around a soccer ball, but they are now full of water, or they're filling with water. And I drove by one full of ducks and geese and some other waterfowl. It looked pretty cool. It's good to see the birds out in the ponding basins doing what ponding basins are supposed to do, recharging the groundwater around here. Thanks for checking in. All right, sounded good. Thanks, Paul. If we can catch up later, we'll get some radios. Also, hello to the Indiana Kid out there in Nineland checking in. I might try catching you guys when we get on HF radio. Let's go to SWL 46. SWL 47.
Well, good evening from the Radio Lounge. This is SWL 47.
All right, sounds like you are ready to go. You've got the cocktail in hand, or the soft drink, a little bit of Old Blue Eyes, and it is ready to go.
Yeah, we got the D104 in the hand, and hoping that the Google bots did not tag that song.
We'll see. It was probably not in long enough, but sometimes it doesn't take a lot to get their attention. But you've got my attention, and we've got you checked in.
Thank you, and Happy New Year to all.
Okay, and I'm looking because there it is. I had to clear my cache. Thank you, let's all give a big hand for Rob. Okay, I'm looking because there it is. I had to clear my cache. Wait a minute. Thank you, let's all give a big hand for Rob. Okay, I'm looking because there it is. I had to clear my cache. Oh, I know what happened. Thank you, let's all give a big hand for Rob. Okay, I'm looking because there it is. I did. These things happen. They just happen on the Old Tube Radio Network when you press the wrong button. But that's a good sign that we will be having some radios on the stream tonight. I just refreshed everything, and it just threw everything off. So hopefully nobody's ears were hurt on that last encounter.
Yeah, no.
All right. Well, we had the refresh, so it might have thrown some people off of their network thing, but hopefully they are back. All right, let's go back to what I was doing. 47 is in, sounding good. I want to join your party. They're probably doing the same thing down in the green room. Let's go to SWL 48. SWL 49.
Proxy 49.
I will proxy Brian Sweet Country Mama. Sure, they're having a good celebration there of bringing out the new year, bringing the new year in. Thanks for that.
Thank you.
SWL 50. Heading to near Sangertown, SWL 51.
SWL 51 checking in.
Sounding good, sir. Thanks for dropping by your old tube radio network. And OBP, what is an E3A? We've got an E3A orbiting above. Is that not a raccoon? Is that some type of special satellite beaconing down the old tube radio network? SWL 52, I think, yes. Let's try the... If it wasn't for Aaron, he's sort of like the assistant producer sometimes. It's like, you left this on. You need to do that. Don't look now. But don't stand up. No, so I always appreciate his quick but helpful comments to keep on the air without embarrassment. Hello from KB6GFD, over.
Well, good evening, Dennis, and everyone else on the net. SWL 52 from behind the golden microphone, and I'll take the job if you're hiring. And I like the wide caller. Catch you later.
All right, it is what it is. And I mean, what can I say? People wore this stuff. I wore this stuff. I wore this stuff to a Jerry Lewis telethon, obviously. I thought I was hot stuff. But it's apropos. We will be checking in some radios tonight from 1976, no doubt. And you know what they say, if the suit still fits, well, they don't say that. They should say you shouldn't wear it. So it's documented now. Thanks for checking in, and appreciate your attendance here on the Old Tube Radio Network, KB6GFD. Mr. Belair, the legend, is hanging out, standing by.
Good evening there, Dennis. If you can hear me, 53 The Legend checking in. And I also want to say Happy New Year to Joe Jayburn. I don't know if you remember him in the band, an old friend, CB friend. He's on the Bluetooth listening to the internet. So, hey, you take care there. Happy, everybody. A new year.
It is a new year. It should be a better year. We seem to be getting better, I hope. Hello to our, like you said, our station listening. Someone said they were from Fresno, out in Illinois, listening in. So we do this every Saturday at 8 p.m. Pacific time, and we have been doing it almost since this suit was brand new, believe it or not, from the mid-1980s, when SWL1 and Mr. OBP and a couple of people said, you know, there's got to be a place where we can go with our tube radios to just hang out and talk tech stuff and get away from the fray of citizen band radio, such that it was. And so here we are, recreating the sound and hopefully the demeanor with our great operators of the way, for those who didn't have a chance of operating the tube radios live and direct, of how it might have sounded back when CB radio was the internet, was your social media, was the thing to do after you got done watching Red Skelton or Jackie Gleason or Ed Sullivan on a Saturday, Friday evening, whenever it was, turned on the radio. Let's go to SWL 54. We're getting Board Jammer checked in. SWL 55. SWL 56.
Good evening, Dennis and the net. 56, just for kicks.
56, just for kicks. Now, Phil, I know you're a young guy, but you probably, and I don't want to embarrass you, but I bet you in the day watched Ed Sullivan and waited for that Peacock. Remember when color TV came out, and you went to your friend's house that had the color TV just to watch that NBC Peacock?
Oh, indeed so, and the Wizard of Oz, of course. Now, we didn't have a color set for a long time, but the neighbors sure did, and that brings back memories of the hue control and the color control, and getting it all doinked up just right. Yeah.
Yeah, and the old televisions had this little box. It had a panel, and you open the panel, and all those tilt hue controls, the brightness and contrast were behind that door. And when the guy came with the tube caddy to fix things, he would say, "Leave the stuff alone behind the door. Don't open the door. It's adjusted." I remember that. So I did the same thing. We didn't have a color TV, and I had no idea, The Wizard of Oz, that all of a sudden when they went to Oz, when they showed up at Oz, that things would be in color. So maybe, oh, you know what? Wait a minute. Are we in Oz yet? Maybe I should do this. Let's do this until we go to the tube radios. Here we go. There you go. Until we go to the tube radios, we are not going to be in color. We'll be monochrome. But when we go to tube radio land, the color is going to show up, just like the Wizard of Oz. Thanks for the idea, Phil. Thanks for your check-ins. Phil is one of these guys. He says, one of these guys, what's he talking about? Phil is one of our listeners who has been with us pretty much from the start of things. So can you believe that? That's dedication to be hanging out for 30-plus years to say hello, radio, and goodbye, radio. Thanks, Phil, and we'll be in Oz soon.
Happy New Year's.
All right, hopefully I didn't break anything. Is everything okay? Are we there? Yeah, looks pretty cool. I like that. Let's go to SWL 57. Brown Dog Audio checking in for the last time in 2022. Happy New Year from everyone here at BDA, and cheers to an awesome 2023. I agree. From Central Kentucky to Central Fresno and all over the darn place. Let's have a good one. Thanks for checking in. Let's go to SWL 58. I got a proxy check-in for Jeremy. SWL 59. Uncle Hairball, who is in from his appearance over on Old Radio Night. I think he's one of the guys that has a front row seat out there. Get to Uncle Hairball check. He's got his bottle ready. He's going to play that drinking game. All right, I know what you're talking about. We'll see. We'll see how many we get tonight. Because I love the radios. So whatever it takes to get the radio. Hello from the Old Tube Radio Network, Mr. Hustler. Over.
Thank you much, here, Dennis. Happy New Year to you. And doggone it, well, I think Jay Bird is listening, and I think number 53, we want to tell them a Happy New Year also. Jay Bird, if you're listening, doggone it, we missed you. Get on the radio. SWL 60 checking in, Dennis, on the 291 base.
Got you checked in, Mr. 291, who checked in many times back in the day when this suit was almost brand new. Mr. Jake on the radio and keeping the tradition up. I know he appreciates it, and we certainly do. Thanks for checking in.
Happy New Year there, Joe.
SWL 61. And I'll get Dino a proxy, but he may pop in. He pops in and has a good signal. I'm getting some feedback on my headphones here. SWL 62. And I will go back and look at the archives and things, so I know who checked in when and where, because sometimes they scroll by and doggone it, I miss them. I do not see them. Let's go to SWL 63. Mr. Butterbean, I got him checked in twice. I checked him in over ORN, checking him in here again at the old Tube Radio Network. I'm waiting for that. I've got the window open, and there was just a big blast of cold air. Can you see the flora and fauna? The big windstorm that Dan was talking about in Sacramento, I think, is heading this way. So if I have to run around during the break, might blow the Christmas tree. But that is a big wind coming through here. Let's go to SWL 64.
Right.
I'll see if 64 should be on the chat. The break. Go ahead. Over.
This is pouring over here. You know where I'm at. It is raining hard, and it won't blow too.
Okay, so whatever the storm cell is, it's on its way here. So we'll see if we can hear the rain. I'll turn the noise gate off. So, all right, thanks for the update, because you're north of me. That means it's headed this way in just minutes. So batten down the hatches.
I've already done that. No, it's out right for and so. All right, I just want to let you know.
All right, and hopefully we're not getting any lightning. I don't hear any static crashes, lightning crashes, because I would have to go away. But we don't want to do that. I'd be huddling in the corner with the kitty and my my leisure suit. Let's go to Adolf. Oh, 64? Did Adolf come in? Did he come through there? I don't know. Let's go to SWL 65. The antenna's quiet, no static on the antenna, so we're not having any static discharge, which is a good thing. SWL 65, SWL 66, SWL 67. And Bill, I don't know if your internet is working, but we will get you checked in up there in Canby, Oregon. And there is, speaking of the internet working, 64 is in. Thanks for joining us for the Old Tube Radio Network. We will go to SWL 68. That's Michael up there in New York. T-minus 10 minutes. All right, thanks for the East Coast. So we'll have to take a little break at noon so people can go out and do whatever they do. I will be hiding. I'll be hiding in the corner, so all the raining bullets won't hurt me here. SWL 69, Kenny in Tulsa, where getting close to the New Year. Kenny has been a long time checking in, or when he was here in Fresno, he's out in Tulsa, Oklahoma now, and often joins us via the video. If you're watching the video, hello, Kenny. We've got you checked in. Let's go to SWL 70. Shortwave listener 71, I did see Stan on the board checking in from Dallas, Georgia. Thank you, sir. Stan was one of our, when we first went digital audio, Stan and a couple others were like the first ones to, I don't know, figure out how to do it and find us, and he's been hanging in all that time. That is some dedication. But then he's a CW type ham guy. He's dedicated. He will pound out and listen for that. He will listen for that station when it's only S1. So definitely has some perseverance going on. Let's go to SWL 72. And Dennis, I will get you checked in when we come around to that. SWL 73. I get John checked in. He was on the VHF, the crossband, but he was too far away and he could not hear me. He was in my noise, but he was definitely out there calling for Larry earlier. We've got a proxy check in for Miss Julie, SWL 74. Boy, that wind this room is quickly cooling down. It might actually feel good to be in the polyester suit. Let's go to SWL 75. I don't hear any rain yet. SWL 77. SWL 78. Hey, I'm going to get Richard checking. He popped in on 40 meters the other day. Sounded good. So if you're listening, Rich, Richard, I will take the 40 meter check-in as a possible check-in for you here. Let's go to SWL 79. SWL 80. And it is time, yes, once again for Bob and Steve to tell us what's going on in the final episode, the final year, the final whatever we're doing for the Old Tube Radio Network. Here we go.
27.0850 TR Channel 11.
Whoopee. All right, let's see what's happening. I've got the REA meter. Hopefully I'm not over-modulating too much. Listening for the rain. Let me see if the rain is happening. I'm going to turn off the noise gate, and you can hear what's happening around here. Here we go. Oh, yeah. It is raining big time. The sirens are going. That's sort of a common occurrence around here. All right, the episode, what episode is this? Episode 148, the Old Tube Radio Network, December 31st, 2022. And we've had a couple of New Year's Eve nets in our 30-something year history. Bob and Steve would like to thank everyone for being an OTR on OTR every week, as would I. A special thanks to yours truly. Thank you, guys. He reads our comments for the first time on the air live. He tries to, anyway. Santa, Rudolph, and the boys stopped by and picked up all the extra Christmas cookies, which is good. There were still some leftovers. Espresso Trucking Company is out there setting up the gear for our break. I promise, Harvey, I hope you're listening. I promise I will not sing or try to sing on this net. We will have the professionals do it. And we would all like to wish you a happy, healthy, and a wonderful 2023. And I would also say thanks to Bob and Steve, who come in every week and help us out to find out what's going around here. Just look, in the last couple of years, it went from basically like Dennis in a haystack above the barn to this beautiful palatial, even though you don't see it, but this palatial old tube radio network central control with swimming pools, movie stars, heaters, the elevator, the green room. It has become this, I don't know, Taj Mahal of sorts, but still we know our roots. Our roots are the tube radios that you all have out there, and that is the number one thing that we try to do. But it's nice to have a little extra stuff. So thanks to Bob and Steve for coordinating all that and knowing where I keep the Costco card. At the bar tonight, all the makings, make your own sandwich. I like that make your own stuff because I get exactly what I want. Coffee and tea are on Bob and Steve. After the net, New Year's Eve party in the Green Room Lounge. Yeah, because when we get off, it will still not be 2023 here, so there will be a big party. We've got plenty of noisemakers. And by the elevator, and I don't know, things are falling down outside. Anyway, as you remember, whatever year, whatever time it might be, always do not forget to feed the fish. Thank you, Bob and Steve.
27.085 OTR, Channel 11.
Back in a moment. All right, and we are back, and I think I heard the volume was quite low. I think I have a crossband check-in. Here is Kilowatt Bravo 6, Germany, France, Denmark.
Kilo Delta 6, Quebec, Lima Golf, SWL 135, checking in.
All right, we've got you checked in. No doubt you are getting the deluge as we just started here in central Fresno. Stay dry, and thanks for joining us every year on the Old Tube Radio Network, including next year.
Yeah, it is banging down over here. I just got this radio hooked back up. Is it messing up?
No, it's sounding fine. In fact, I've got to turn my noise gate back on because the rain is cutting you out. No, you're sounding good.
Okay. I'm going to try to get something checked in, weather and authorities permitting.
All right, sounds good. Thanks for that. KB6GFD.
K62LT, over.
And the breaker, go ahead, over.
195 checking in. I'm not too sure if you got to me yet or not.
All right, well, yeah, the storm just happened here, so we're trying to do our best. Let me pull up the 195 moniker on the page to let everybody know that you are officially checked in, the last check-in of 2022, but we know we'll hear you all next year. Thanks for joining us.
Oh, thank you for being out there. And could you check in 650,
and Mr. 650, we'll get the X in the square. Thank you, Jim, and all the gang up that way.
Thank you, Dennis, for being here, and thank you for the future.
Indeed. Course Gold Starliner, sounding good. Through the rain. Look at the, wow. It is blowing big time here with the wind. I may have to go close that window. Man. Well, I hope, I'm looking at my SWR. All right. I'm going to make sure I have an antenna. This is intense stuff. Wow. All right. You were not kidding. I may have to rescue. I don't know if a cat's outside or not. I may have to go rescue somebody. This is interesting. All right. Page 4 is where we're at. SWL 81. SWL 82. Ron has a really big antenna up in the air, so hopefully over there in the dish banks there is no malfeasance with this inclement weather. Ron is the guy that runs the sideband net, the ditch banks sideband net on Fridays at 8 p.m. on the 36th floor, so join us for that, won't you? SWL 83. We will get a check-in for SWL 84, 86, 87, and 88. That is Cheerios Kid Jerry, who does is a net controller on the Jefferson Noontime net on 40 meters, and respectively the Mountain Maid Tandy Girl and the Snowy Owl. And I am hoping that the power does not go out here. I'm sort of set up, but I won't last long if the power goes out. It'll be enough to say goodbye, I guess, and maybe stay on the internet web. SWL 89, SWL 90, SWL 91. Felix in earlier said he wanted a check-in as he was going to be, I don't know, he might, in New York, he might be in charge of the guy holding the rope when that ball comes down. So he's probably got some important stuff to do. So, Felix, we've got you checked in. Let's go to SWL 92. SWL 93. That's Sal out of southern New Jersey. What is going on in New Jersey tonight? SWL 95, Warthog 95. Just checking to see if I am missing anybody. 9/11 New York, New I Seek Video Gates checking in, waiting for the ball to drop, doing his thing. You need a suit like this. When you do that, you need to be wearing a suit like this, just like we all did. Let's see, SWL 95. Fox, man, it's next year where he's at. Yeah, we're behind the times here. But give us an hour or two. We'll get there.
Happy New Year. Check me in. One element back out. Happy New Year, Dennis. See ya.
All right, and the one element waiting for 2023, where his New Year's resolution is to maybe even get two elements when necessary. Although the one element is working good. SWL 96, Mr. Prune Picker. Out there in Kerman. Dennis, I saw your tag earlier. We would get you checked in. And Tyler says, yes, there is a tomorrow. So those of you who are in the new year, all of a sudden, thank you for letting us know there is hope. Let's go to SWL 97, Jim up in Boston. SWL 98. Hello, Tracy, right there. Let me put the X in the square. Checking in and Happy New Year. Yeah, we're waiting for, I don't know if you're getting any of this storming, man. Yeah, it kind of calmed down a little bit. That's a good thing. We're still on the air. Thanks, Tracy, for checking in. SWL 99, Radio Randy. I didn't check the scroll board here, and I didn't see him on the Echo link, but Dan checked in for everybody out there on the Voodoo audio group. So, Randy, we got you checked in. Let's go to, speaking of Voodoo audio and all things tube-alike, let's see what is happening over in McClellanville, South Carolina for Tony. KD4BAO, KB6GFD, over.
Good evening, Dennis. I'm in good as usual. Please check in SWR 100. Back to net control, KB4BAO.
All right, we've got you checked in, sounding good. And like you, we're waiting for those glow-in-the-dark radios. Thanks for joining us. KB6 GFD. So Tony is in. Let's try SWL 102 out there in Arkansas. Saying Happy New Year to the gang here, all the shortwave listeners as well. And yeah, hey, we're glad you're here, John. It's open to everybody, whether you've got a tube radio or not. Like I said, it started back in the mid-1980s, and we haven't looked back. We have gone through a lot of years saying maybe this will be the last year that we'll do this. But thanks to all the great stations and tube radio operators out there, they just want to keep going. That's fine with me. So do I. All right, thanks for checking in. 1010. Get out. I'm surprised I don't have a 1010 code chart in one of my pockets here. Maybe I do. Well, that's good. That means I probably never wore this when I was operating the CB radio. Let's go over to SWL 103. Up to, where are we going? Auberry Town, or somewhere near it, SWL 109.
Good evening, Dennis. 109 Crawdad checking in.
Hello, Crawdad. Hope all is well up that way. Thanks for joining us many years, and we will look forward to your great sounding audio and check-ins in 2023. Thanks.
Thank you, Dennis.
Okay, 109 looking good. How about SWL 110? And there is Radio Randy saying hello, Radio, from Arizona. Still waiting. I will, if we ever get the short skip, the sporadic into Arizona, I'll be letting the guys know. And Randy's going to have a whole stack of stuff pointed this way. And make a YAM contact. That's coming up. That is coming up in 2023. There's one thing we'll be looking forward to. Thanks, Randy. If you were all on later on, I might try and fire up the less than stellar antenna down on the lower frequencies. Let's go to SWL 111. And I will get Robert checked in. Sometimes he stops by. I'm seeing if he's on. I don't see him in there tonight, so all right. Get him checked in anyway. I know he's around. Over to SWL 113. SWL 114.
114 checking in.
Mr. Rickshaw Kid, another long-time listener of the old Tube Radio Network. It just keeps getting better year after year, doesn't it? Thanks for stopping by, and we've got you checked in.
Thank you for the check-in, and Happy New Year to everybody out there.
Let's go to shortwave listener 128. A guy that knows how to SWL, whether it's digitally or over the air with the long wire in the tree. John, a long-time listener, another one of the stations that when we first went digital was able to tune in from all the way out there in near Fairfax, Virginia. Thanks, John, for joining us. And he says, "I'll catch you next year." Indeed. SWL 131. Shortwave listener 133. SWL 135, who you heard checking in moments ago on the crossband. I'll get the green arrow checked in. SWL 137. 145, Tony, who checked in earlier. Tony, if you're listening, we've got you checked in, and thanks for the Friday night net. Or the Friday morning net. It seems like night sometimes, but it's 7 a.m. Maybe that's why I miss it. I turn it on at 7 p.m.
Okay, that's okay, yeah. Some of the early risers talked about being on at midnight tonight. I don't think we're going to make it, but if you're up and about and you want to tune in, there might be a few folks out there.
Okay, what is the over-the-air frequency for that?
That's a 147.180 with a 146.2 PL.
All right, 2 meters here in the Central Valley of California, and then there is an echo link. I think it's linked to the repeater And I'm missing the call. I think it's KG6MC, but I could be wrong.
Alpha Fox 6, Mike Charlie, AM6MC-R.
Okay, Alpha Fox 6, Mike Charlie -R is the echo link to that. So that happens on 7 o'clock in the morning on Fridays here. So it's listenable and linkable. They do a good job of keeping things on the air. All right, thanks, Tony. Still sounding good.
Okay, thank you, Dennis. Yeah, that monochrome thing is pretty neat. I'm looking at it right now.
Yeah, well, that's sort of our Wizard of Oz. When the tube radios show up, it'll be like going into the wonderland of good stuff, and I think the color will return to the old tube radio network. So that's why we are marching as quickly as we can up to the tube radios. Thanks for joining us.
Okay, and thank you, and Happy New Year, everybody.
The Old Tube Radio Network, my name is Dennis. Radio's coming up shortly. Espresso Trucking Company and all things good. SWL 147 and 00 on the dual play. Gotcha, Neil. Let's try locally. Hope the antenna survived the wind. SWL 188. I don't know if he's got that thing on we can crank it down, but he's got a lot of hardware up there, so I know you get a little antsy when you've got all that stuff up in the air and it's windy. Jim in Coursegold checked in moments ago up there 195, so thanks Mr. Starliner for that, and over to SWL 226. Mr. Shockwave. Anybody else before we head out of here? All right, looks pretty good. I need to go check on a few things. So while we do that, and I'm just checking to see if the Espresso Trucking Company is ready with their tune we wanted to have last week, but they were stuck on the little airline fiasco. And they say, okay, so I'll get all the audio set up. We'll be back in a couple minutes to check in your tube radios. You are listening to the Old Tube Radio Network. Thanks, everybody, all the SWLs for checking in, and we will be back getting our last radios of 2022. Thanks for joining us.
Santa buddy, just slip a robin under the tree for me. Been an awful good boy, buddy. So hurry down the tower tonight.
Well, wait a minute. wait a minute. All right, well, that... have they been in the punch? I'm not sure what happened there. All right, do you want to try that again? Yeah, let's see. Hold on. Okay, I think they're ready again. This time without the eggnog or the New Year's cheer. The Espresso Trucking Company with Santa Buddy.
Santa buddy, just slip a robin under the tree for me. Been an awful good boy, Santa buddy, so hurry down the tower tonight. Santa buddy, an oscilloscope to tech blue. I'll wait up with a beer, Santa buddy, so hurry down the tower tonight. Don't think of all the work I sure. Think of all the stations that I haven't worked. Next year I'll run my tube amp clean if you drop off a brand new beam. Santa buddy, a kilowatt and really that's not a lot. Been an elder all year, Santa buddy, so hurry down the tower tonight. Santa buddy, one little thing I really need, the feed to a Moonraker 6, Santa buddy, so hurry down the tower tonight. Santa buddy, fill my stocking with radio parts and a gift card inside, Santa buddy, so hurry down the tower tonight. Coming to my LFA with the big inductor bought at MFJ. I really do think you're good. Just don't land in my swimming pool, Santa buddy. Forgot to mention one little thing, a ping. When I key up the mic, Santa buddy, so hurry down the tower tonight. Hurry down the tower tonight. Hurry tonight.
All right, are we back? Yes. Hurry down the tower tonight, Santa buddy, the Espresso Trucking Company. Yeah, I know it's not. We left the tree up. People do that for the New Year's Eve celebration, but we wanted to get the song that they had were supposed to do last week, but failed to get here thanks to the airline debacle. So there you go. Exclusively, you will only hear that, and some people might say that's a good thing. You will only hear that on the Old Tube Radio Network. As promised, we're gonna go into the tube radios. I do believe that I don't know how they do it. We're going to step into the land of tube radios, and hopefully the color, maybe it'll never come back again. Hopefully the color will come back into the control room slowly here on the Old Tube Radio Network. Could be a good thing, could be not a good thing. That's a lot of color. Almost looks like there's too much color now. So, all right, I think we're good with that. Do I need to, as we say in the biz, do I need to do a white balance? I'm not sure. Let me try that. All right, we'll be back in a moment with your radios here on the Old Tube Radio Network. Okay. All right, if I got audio back, we had to re-rig some of the audio to get their performance in. So let me go to the REA meter. That tells me that the transmitter's working, so we're good there. Radio testing 6-7. All right, and then I see, hello, Jimmy. I see that Jimmy is on. Glad you are on the mend and doing better. Railroader SWL 34 checking in. Getting a toot on the whistle, and like I said, just take it slow and take it easy, and you will be back in the air share for 2023. But glad you could join us here, and good to know that you are back. All right, like I said, we'll be back with the tube radios. I got to reset the stream that shows up with the tube radios, and that'll be done right now. Yeah, don't forget to feed the fish if you can find them. There's probably going to be plenty of fish out here with all this rain. OTR, back in a moment.
Fresno, California.
Radio Magic.
Old Tube Radio.
For you.
Okay, when stuff stops working, it kind of stops working. Here we go.
You may not find us on your TV, because in case you did not know, we're being brought to you by
OTR.
Brought to you by
27.085 megahertz.
Brought to you by RADI.
The Old Tube Radio Network.
Ah, yes, the Old Tube Radio Network with some tube radios and old tubes and things of that nature. Let me clear the page out. Say welcome back. I think everything is up and running. And without further ado, we will say that OTR is listening for those glow-in-the-dark tube radios.
135, 135. We love old school. We like them tubes too. We love you, Dennis. Happy New Year to the old school. And I'm out of the way.
All right, it's definitely old school. All right, Cliff, I've got you. Stand by. Oh, who else was out there for check-ins? Yeah, let me get, since I'm hearing you well, I want to get Sanger, because I don't know if and when my little staticky noise will be staticking around, so I'm going to grab Sangertown, and then we will come back to Mr. Green Arrow. Your last, I think you said the last ping of the year. Hello, Sean. All right, the Browning Golden Eagle, and you're on the Mark IV, is that correct? Over. Okay, well, yeah, I thought you were sort of making reference to that about the last transmission. Let me see. We're going to the database here and see if I can clap. There they are. There's the pictures. It's nice to have the photos back. Thank you, Rob, for sort of a last-minute fix-up on that. Now I'm going to have to find out, I'm going to have to find out where they are on my page here. Well, that's not there. Let's go to that one. Okay, it's there and working good. The Mark IV, the last of the Browning Golden Eagle Mark series. This is the 40-channel version that was probably, I back in the day, I could have donned my brand new leisure suit and went out had I had $900 in my pocket instead of a Jerry Lewis telethon button and bought one of those. Back to you. It is a good thing. I mean, for those who like Brownings, the Mark IV, Mark II, Mark III always show up as the favorite radios. You've got a Mark III, or you will have a Mark III. So, as the year goes on, we'll see how you can compare the two. Some people, there are some people that don't like Brownings. They think they're parts radios, but that one, all the parts in the right spot. Over. Right, Silver Eagle microphone, the D104 style microphones always sound good. I don't know, with that one, they had a special, almost looked like a +3 or something microphone, I think, that came with that. I'm not sure if it had the standard static or electro voice, but it's doing a good job and just in time, because I think the noise level just took a rise up, but I'm still hearing you through the noise. Back to you. On the Browning Golden Eagle Mark IV, getting us started off. Thank you, Cliff, for standing by, but I wanted to make sure we could hear Sanger Town. Over.
Oh, no trouble. No trouble at all. Is this one working okay?
All right, thanks for joining us here on the Old Tube Radio Network. What we do best is what we're doing right now. And checking in, talking to, and listening for the tube radios. Thank you, Sean, for that. Heading over to Mr. Green Arrow, and I can hear you just perfectly. No problem at all. Over.
Okay, yeah, I thought you were talking to me, so I didn't mean to step on the guy.
No problem. He is signed off. We got a great check-in and our first Browning radio of the evening. I know you have something for us. I'm not sure what it is, but you will tell us. Over.
Okay, as long as it's working okay. I seem to be just a tad high in frequency, but just a tad, so hopefully it's good enough. Hello, not much swing. I am out here in the rain, so things are... I'm not sure about how everything's going to operate here. From Brooklyn, New York, this is the Sonar Model H. H is in hotel. Let's see, there are 9 tubes and 8 channels, and this is the original plastic unamplified Sonar hand mic. Back to you.
Wow. All right. Well, thanks for being an Old Tube Radio trooper out in the rain, although it is certainly much nicer now than it was about 20 minutes ago. Brought up a picture. It says Sonar Model H with Sonar speaker, photo courtesy of yourself. So we'll talk about the speaker if we want to do that. But the Model H, nice, good audio. All the tubes are functioning as well as the channels. Of course, we're only listening to one crystal. Go ahead.
Oh, and I'm listening to the other crystal. There's no VFO on this thing, so it's crystal only, transmit and receive. And let's see, with that, I don't have the speaker. The picture you're looking at is Harvey's. That's Harvey's Model H, not mine. But I do have something else here, the Model Sierra Charlie-3, the SC3 sonar call. So I can ring in the new year like so. How'd that work?
It works quite well. It sounds almost like a dial tone on a telephonium, and then it sort of slowly fades out. I don't know if you're doing that or if it automatically does that.
No, it automatically does that. Actually, I was holding it down, and because it's spring-loaded for the call thing. Standby, you flip it up and it locks into place, and it will just stay there all day. But when you want to call, you got to push on the spring and hold it there. And yeah, it has a natural attack decay sustain release envelope going on there. That's all the sonar call. No special operations on my part. Back to you.
And it's an external device. What is the model number of that again?
That is the model SC-3 at Sierra Charlie-3.
Okay, I thought I had a photo of that, but it does. Oh, wait a minute. Courtesy of Mark Middleman. All right, here we go. I'm going to bring it up. There it is. It's on a little stand, actually, a cute little stand. It's got the call light, like you said, the flip switch standby call, and a volume control, and the sonar, little World Sonar logo.
Oh yeah, just the same as on the Model H. It's got the same logo, and the boxes are painted the same color too. Yeah, the worldwide sonar call. I can't remember what that map projection is called, but yeah, it's an oval world thing. The volume control does not seem to do anything to the sonar call, but it does control my receive volume, in addition to the volume control on the radio. So I'm not sure how that works, but Harvey says that's the way it's supposed to work.
All right, well, it's working. It makes the noise. It does the call. I don't think it's an encode-decode thing. I'm not sure, unless it's listening for that tone. Maybe the little call light goes. Does your call light function when you do it? Does it illuminate?
No, it doesn't. That's only supposed to come on when you've received a call. Yeah, it does have a decode kind of function, which you can adjust inside the unit. And then, it receives that set of tones, and it will set it off, and it'll open up your squelch, theoretically. I need somebody else with a call to really test this out. And then that light will come on and stay on. So when you come back into the room, it will indicate you received a call while you were out.
They thought of everything. All this iPhone stuff is just sort of copycats, and then they charge you a lot of money. Here's do I have a rear view of it? Yeah, okay, there's the octal plug, so there's obviously a spot in the back of your sonar where that plugs right in, and you are good to go. It gets power and does what it's supposed to do. The one we're showing, which is not yours, it's model, of course, it's an SC3, and it's serial number 1687. So at least they made over 1,500, so we'll have to see what if you got an early or late serial number, but this one is 1687 that we have here.
Yeah, sorry about that. I cannot read the serial number on this. The sticker is extremely damaged, and I cannot make it out. I can sort of make out that there were numbers embossed into it, like it's a metal kind of sticker, but I cannot read them.
Okay, not a problem, because it's working just fine. We'll go back to the radio, the Model H as in hotel, from your collection, and doing good. I will give you a good audio report with your microphone there, and I'll also check the frequency on your signal next to go around.
Okie doke. Let's see. 0852. Yeah, like I said, just a teeny bit high according to my frequency counter, but hopefully I am still within your bandwidth. Here, we'll do another sonar call for Happy New Year.
Yes, it gets fully modulated. It gets forward movement on the meter. When I went 0 beat, you were right there. I'm going to say you were less than 100 cycles high. Probably not even that, at least from upper and lower sideband. Working good. Thanks for the Sonar Model H. attached with the SC3, Sierra Charlie number 3 tone call and external units. They were built in. General Radio Telephone, of course, had their tone call built in, and then the FCC didn't type accepted because I really think they didn't like the tone calls being built into the radio with switches where you could hold the transmitter button down and transmit and cause interference, as some people might have done. Some unscrupulous operators. I know our tube radio operators only use their tone call when they're out there looking for another sonar. I've often heard Cliff, out there night after night after night, tone calling to see if there's that one sonar radio that might respond.
So far, no go. But you never know. One of these days, somebody else out there will have one too. Did Harvey make it in tonight?
Harvey's around. He was wet and cold and tired. I guess he worked, so he's doing what he needs to do to gather his energy to join us shortly with some possible radio items of interest. So he will be out there. Thanks for that. We've got, the Sonar Model H. So, yeah, Harvey will be out there if he hasn't fallen asleep.
Yeah, it's H for Harvey. I didn't catch him in there earlier, so I didn't know if I should check him in or not. But, okay, thanks for letting me check it in. I'm going to get back inside where it's dry and listen on one of the other radios on the inside. Thanks for letting me check it in. See ya.
All right, and maybe after the song of last week, I'm glad that Harvey has decided to actually come back and join us for 2023. Although he hasn't said that, but I know that he will. Foxman 362, thanks for joining us. Check the DX maps. Thanks for that suggestion, and we will do just that. I think I can do it by this. DX maps looking pretty. Whoa, wait a minute. We got some activity over, let's see, on 10 meters. And above over, North Carolina, South Carolina, Virginia, Tennessee, Illinois. So maybe out there, if DD21 gets on one of his stellar radios and just turns it on, it might break a hole out there to Kakalaki. But certainly nothing going on here on the West Coast. Not even a hop. Usually there's the big guns hopping over to Hawaii and Australia, but the map is not even showing that. You are listening to the Old Tube Radio Network. I've got to adjust the jingle singers, so we'll get them going and be back in just a moment.
How do you do? Ladies and gentlemen, greetings to you. Wherever you are, your favorite spot on the dial by far is known to you. And
OTR, the Old Tube Radio Network.
the station for you is
OTR.
Yeah, the noise level came up. It's not as high as it usually is when it goes bad, but it is there. Making some adjustments here, so we don't mess everybody up listening in. It's nice to be in color again. Although there seems to be a lot of red coming in. Was that vestiges of Skipland coming in there?
60.
All right, hang on, Joe, just a second. Someone is wanting to check in A Cobra, was that a Cobra Cam? Over. Okay, the Cobra Cam 88, and who is this? Over. Okay, you're a little weak into my station, but that's no problem because we definitely like to check in the radios. The Cobra Cam 88 is becoming one of our late 2022 specials, and maybe will be the big station for 2023 because there's a couple of them out and about. I will put up a picture of the Cam 88, which always has good audio, which is definitely helping my receive on you, and take another transmission. Thanks for joining us. Over. All right, and are you locally here in the Central Valley somewhere? Over. Okay, well, I wish I had a better antenna up so to give you a better signal, but we've got a photo of the Cobra Cam 88, and like I said, even though your signal is not very strong, the audio is punching through quite well on the Cobra. Over. Okay, yeah, there it is, out there, 92. Sean out in Sanger over at Sean's station. You came in perfectly that time. Like I said, you've got a great voice for radio, and it matches up well with the Cobra to cut through my noise level. I guess an old radio, sitting in front of an old radio is sort of like sitting in an old car. It's got a lot of chrome and knobs, and it may not be fancy, but it gets you there. Over. Well, that radio is probably from the late 1960s, but they were very well built, and it doesn't take much to keep them running. And here it is, almost 2023. We're in the 21st century. Your 20th century radio is sounding good. Again, you've got a great voice for radio. It's coming through perfectly on our net tonight, even with the noise. You will be radio number 3 on the Cobra Cam 88. Over. All right, well, thanks for joining us. We're here every Saturday, so if you find yourself in front of a glow-in-the-dark tube radio and you can hear us on a Saturday evening, stop by and say hello, and we get you checked in on the list. Even if you don't have a radio, always welcome to stop by and say hello, radio. The Cobra Cam 88, again, you've got a perfect voice for the radio, comes through loud and clear, even with the noise, on the Cobra Cam 88. Thanks. All right, a Cobra Cam 88 from out Sanger Way. Thanks, Joe, for standing by. I know I've got a high noise level here tonight. It was pretty good. I'm not getting any static from the storm, which sort of passed through really quickly. So just some cool air now, and the air is nice and fresh. So perfect time for a check-in. Hello, 60.
Thank you, Dennis. I'd like to check in this evening my Pretty Blue radio, the Hustler radio from World Radio Labs.
WRL. Now we have our SWL listening that worries about parts radios. We've got a radio for you. We've got a radio for you, number 3, and here, let me bring it up on the system. From World Radio Labs, makers of course, the infamous Globe radios, whether they were on 11 meters or the big iron on amateur radio. Here's one that everyone can enjoy. The Hustler, sounding good, 8 channels, 23 tunable receive, and even more. Back to you.
That's right there, Dennis. Doggone it. Pretty little blue radio with all the hardware ready to install if you wanted to run this in your mobile. It has your mic hanger, and of course it has its original Pretty Blue hand mic, which right now we don't have hooked up. We're on a Turner +3.
sounding good. I think when these radios were put together, it really wasn't thought that you were going to be putting any type of an extra microphone. That's why they were hardwired in, but they were really built to sound good, to have the circuitry, whatever was necessary to get the right articulate tones through the microphone provided. Definitely you can hear that on the general radio telephones, but I think, was it Leo Meyerson? Anyway, and the Globe radios knew that as well. They were definitely good at, wait, what is going on outside? Sounds like they're sweeping the streets out here. Anyway, they knew that it had to sound good out of the box. So adding an external microphonium like that one is just icing on the cake. Over.
Well, I think so, Dennis. I think for many years, if it was when it was in service many years ago, that it ran strictly on that hand mic, and I guess it was acceptable, for the day and time. But nowadays, doggone it, you're able to make these adjustments, wire in such a microphone like this one in the front, if you know what you're doing, and get away from that under the wire from being, maxed and whatever from the bottom of the radio. It's a good deal. We have a few lights over here blinking, but I think it's just an on-the-air light. Lets me know that it's transmit. It does have 7 tubes and 8 channels.
7 tubes. That is, I've mentioned that before. That's probably the minimum amount of tubes you can get away with. You don't need rectifier tubes or magic eye tubes. It's all the fancy tubes have been removed, and just what you need for receive and transmit, and it does a good job because it sounds as good as any of the 11 and 12 tube radios. Threw in an S meter as well. That's a plus, and I'm sure this wasn't a $300 radio. So very affordable. I don't see many of them, so they might not have sold a lot. The Globe radios did sell quite a few, but this is a cool radio, and definitely made with the nice coloring and just the layout to go, in the house. This wasn't one to be stuck up on the shelf in the shop. So this is one that everyone could enjoy. It'll be your radio number 4. It always sounds good, and it is, as you know, Joe, it is a crowd favorite. Everybody likes this radio.
Well, thank you. We're glad to hear that. Hey, okay, Dennis, doggone it. Well, I'm going to put this one on the side, and that'll be Hustler on the bass. I should say Hustler with the Hustler bass. Thanks a lot, Dennis.
All right, thank you. We got the Hustler on the bass, and what is Charlie saying? Oh, she said you didn't do the pocket protector. I've got the pen right here. Sorry. It is, since it's actually fitting in the leisure suit tonight. Allen Radio and Electric, Bridgeport Laundromat. Oh, I remember this guy. The Radio Shop Laundromat. Get that final tube you need and clean your undies. Let's see if I've got the less than stellar. Oh, there it is. Advertise it for Costco. All right. Here's the pen. Where's the lens? Right there. And of course, it doesn't. The autofocus doesn't work. I think this camera fell off of a truck. But the Allen Radio and Laundromat, Bridgeport, Nebraska. Phone. Wow. How old is this? It says phone 65. So. Was Bridgeport one of those places that had, was it Josephine or Geraldine at the switchboard with the plugs? Was this the party of whom I'm speaking? And they would ring you through, and you would say, "Hey, they pick up, hey Geraldine, I'd like phone 65," and she would put some patch cord in, and you would be talking to Alan or somebody there at Allen Radio and Electric, Bridgeport Laundromat. You might say, "I'd like to order that 6L6 for my Browning or for my Tram." Or you might say something like, "That's a little bit too much starch in the shirt." But I don't know. Anyway, pretty cool. In the pocket protector it goes. The Old Tube Radio Network is listening for your tube radios.
109, checking in the Browning 23S9.
Hey, let's go way back to the early 60s with the Browning 23S9. Hello, Crawdad. Let me get you in for Radio 5, and a good choice here for the end of 2022. I'm looking through the Rolodex to see if I can't find a good representation of the radio. Give us another transmission and give me the parts and pieces again. Sounding good. Over.
It is the Browning 23S9, and then it has the Browning R 27,000A, 2700A.
Okay, there is, for those who are at oldtuberadio.net or looking at the video. Boy, I've got too much audio on my headphonium. Let's turn that off. The 23S9 from Browning. Full 23 channels and a very uneventful looking transmitter, but in this case, it's what's on the inside that counts. The receiver was notorious for being really good, the R2700 receiver. Let's see, I've got a full page ad here. Let's see if it wants to come up. No, it doesn't. But anyway, take a transmission, and let's see. Oh, I'm sorry. Wait a minute. The 23S9 transmitters were built with two different styles of channel selectors. One with the very long knob. I think they called it a chicken head, and one different. So I don't know. What style of channel selector do you have on yours? Over.
You got the chicken head.
Okay, there you go. Now I'm looking for my full page ad. And here we go. So back in that time, the 23S9, R2700, or the 2700A, the world's most up-to-date CB transceiver as antenna tuning control, planetary ball drive, all-channel tuning control, silicone rectified power supply, selective, sensitive, and sensational. And it's still that way. You know, they knew what they were doing on 100 Union Avenue in Laconia, New Hampshire. What is the microphone that you are using with that transmitter? Over.
An Aztec G-stand.
Okay, I think you said a G-stand on the Browning. Has the spot switch. It has a standing wave indicator, Pi network circuitry, TV eye trap, so you won't be messing with the neighbors, spotting switch, and many other features that make it the talk of the airwaves. And this was out at the same time when Browning made the Compact, which I believe Harvey checks in on. And I was looking to see if I had a date or a price. Well, I have a date, 1961 to 1962. So this was their sort of second edition early style radios. And just a great design. Just a great design. It worked great for them. And it's working great for us, putting the Brownings in first place tonight for the most heard manufacturer. Back to you, and thanks for stopping by. Let's hear another transmission on the radio.
Thank you, Dennis. I'm glad it's still sounding good.
Doing a good job, and it's got a perfect little ping for those operators, for those listeners, and there are many that say, you know, I love the Brownings, but I just can't, you know, on a big conversation, take the ping. Yours is perfect. It's like a chirp, but it lets you know, and indeed it's a Browning. So it is fun to orchestrate the sound and the length and the pitch of the ping, and you have done a good job on that. Radio 5, the 23S9 R2700 receiver, sounding good on the Old Tube Radio Network. Before there were the Eagles and the Golden Eagles, it was basically a Browning. Testing jingle singers. You can see me kind of moving around here. I'm having issues with the levels tonight. Seems like I set something and then it is not set. But the jingle singers will make up for that no matter what. So here we go, the Old Tube Radio Network.
You're listening in the latest style at
27.085 megahertz. Channel 11, Old Tube Radio.
In wonderful
Fresno, California.
Thanks for joining us, the Old Tube Radio Network, last net of 2022. Celebrating here, we're out celebrating. I broke out the leisure suit from at least 1976. It might be long before that, but the items in the pocket here tonight are indicating that I had a good time in this suit back in 1976 at the Jerry Lewis Telethon. Oh, here's something else that just fell out. What is this? It's another little Christmassy thing. It probably came off a gift. I was somebody's secret Santa, no doubt.
Did you have a real good time?
You know, I must have had a good time. I'm looking at my biorhythm here. And let's see. Let me go to the less than stellar camera. And you put a quarter in this machine. And I can't remember if you put your hand on the machine or you put in your birthday and some other stuff. And then all these remember, this is 70s something, so there's no computer. So it was what was supposed to be a computer back then, and it was this giant machine. See how they got that font like it's a computer? It was this giant machine, like the size of a Coke, the old Coke machines, and the lights would go on and things would flash out, and then it would spit out this card. So, and it would rate you with low and high. So that day, my luck was high, my romance was creativity was high, my health was way down. I didn't see that. Then they have a thing that says sex. I don't know what that means, but, well, I know what that means, but that was in the middle. Driving was in the middle. Endurance was kind of down. Well, that kind of plays at the other. Finance was not too good. Friendship was way up, and leisure plans at the leisure suit was in the middle. So actually, that day on 12/12/76 was not that good, but it's going better now. Hello, Harvey.
Roger. I'm glad it's going better. Okay, the Golden Beagle R68T68 from Browning Laboratories with the custom D104. I'm going to check in its buddy over here too tonight, because it's got a better ping. I like the ping on that one.
Yeah, that's the big ping. Did you hear the ping on 109 coming in? It was just kind of a, but it wasn't too short, it wasn't too long. But then that's on the earlier set. I think I'm looking for an R6. There it is, the R68T68. If anybody's not familiar with what that looks like. It is sort of the Mark II-ish style because indeed it is a Mark II, right? Even though it's not.
What's a Mark II?
Well, I'm just saying, isn't the R68T68, it was before the Mark II, but isn't it basically a Mark II? I don't know what kind of changes they made, but if you've got a Mark II, it'll kind of look like that.
Yeah, maybe. The Mark II has the, what's it got? It's got a couple of antenna connectors on the back instead of just one. The R27 or the S23 is wider, and it's essentially kind of similar tubes. This one pings better.
Okay, so R68T68, and you told me, and I ran this. I've got a horrible pen here. It's brand new, and it just barely writes. So that's the Beagle or the Bagel, over.
Roger. This is the Bagel. The other one's the Beagle. This one pings a little different. I'm going to work on the Bagel and get its ping back up to snuff.
Okay, and it was a long time before I actually was in front of a Browning when I figured out it has to do with the microphone, where the receiver is, where the microphone is to the receiver, where your squelch is set, where the volume is set. And running an audio board. I ran the audio board through the Browning, and that really, you can really mess up your ping, having compression and limiting and everything. So it's really made to be run with the microphone and how you want to orchestrate it. Adding another, looks like the Brownings are going to be maybe our most heard manufacturer of the last net of the season. Adding the Browning Golden Eagle R68 T68 to the mix. Thanks, Harvey.
Roger. I've got a Shure microphone sitting over here. It's got a dynamic cartridge, an amplifier in it, along with a compressor control also. And I can barely get it to work on this thing.
Wow, I always thought they were, lots of audio. So you got an amplified microphone, you had to turn it down. Oh, question from one of the shortwave listeners here. How many, and I know this would be an estimate, so we'll have to see, how many Brownings do you have? Foxman 362 asking. And I would say, I guess you could say at the current moment, because you've had many, but that come and go. But at the current moment, in your shack, if you were to walk around, how many Brownings do you currently have?
Oh, boy. Okay, I have 6 on this shelf, 1 on the shelf above, and 1 in the closet.
And no parts Brownings?
Oh, okay. Parts Brownings. Well, okay, 6 on this shelf, 1 on the top shelf, well, this is the middle shelf, 1 in the closet, and they all work. And then I've got a couple in storage, and I think I have a couple that are parts radios from Bill. When Bill left town, went to good old cold Wyoming, he parted with several, and several of them are parts radios. But it took me, I don't know how many years, though, let's see, about 40 some odd years of kind of being sneaky to get one here, get one there. They're all in pretty good shape. None of them is a 10 out of a 10, but they're all pretty darn good. And I'm happy to say that I still have them, and when it comes time, I will part with them. They don't get buried with me. Only one thing gets buried with me. Cliff knows what's going to get buried with me, but it's not a radio. Anyway, yeah, I've got a bunch of them, fortunately. There are several other people that we know that have got, 4 or 5 times more than that. They've been collecting for I don't know how many years, and they've just got tons of Brownings. Anyway, I'm going to put that mic on, and we'll see what it sounds like.
37.
All right, we will be listening for that. You know, some may accuse you of being a hoarder, but you know, if you've got a little tube radio space, you've got to have it filled up with tube radios so that you are at the ready. Who was the Peanuts character? Was the piano Schroeder? Was that it? That had the closet full of Beethoven busts and the closet full of pianos. So just in case one met a demise, you just go out and grab another one. All right, Harvey, thanks for Radio 6, the Browning Golden Bagel, if I wrote it correctly. And radio number 7, about to join us from SWL 37, over.
Yes, it is I. And, you know, I know what he's going to take with him. He's going to take his cell phone so he can keep in contact with all of us. But anyway, Dennis, I would like to check in one of my radios right now.
I have the OTR pen, the one that sort of works ready and waiting.
Oh, Lord. Are you kidding me? Woo. Boy, the rain's doing good for my radios tonight. I'm doing over 20 now, so that's not bad. But I would like to check in my general radio telephone, the Super MC11A 24-channel tuber that glows in the dark, and we are running this here with the non-amplified stock microphone. Over. I think it's the original.
It probably is, if it's got the sort of teardrop shape, and if it were to have the little thing in the center, it would say General Big G and a CM3, if that still hadn't fallen out.
Well, I guess I was getting some paint and write it in.
Yeah, but no, you've got the microphone that came with us, and we were talking about that the manufacturers knew that they needed to let these radios out the door sounding good. They didn't expect you to be probably putting amplified microphones on them, or they would just laugh. Ha ha! You do not need an amplified microphone with our great set, and indeed you don't. The General Radio Telephone Super MC11A in all its glory with the ECLL 800 output modulator tube, and you could probably do some tube rollings with the 12AX7, which I really think you really got a primo 12AX7 in that radio, so don't ever change that tube out.
I will do my darndest never to change that tube out, just because you told me to. Over.
Yeah, I guess it makes it different. Talk to Greg. S9 Radio does the tube rolling and the Brownings, especially those audio tubes, 12AX7. He says there's some that are made to make music sound nice. I mean, they all sound good, but there's some that are built that music will sound better, and there's some that are built where audio will sound good. So if you get the right one in your radio, the right combination, it will work nicely, as does your General Radio Telephone Super MC11A, our 7th radio of the evening.
Okay, well, I'm going to get off this here and bring up number 8.
All right, sounds good to me here on the Old Tube Radio Network.
Dennis?
This is the basic Dennis, over.
I grabbed the wrong mic. This is a Browning Red Stripe 776 mic.
Wow, all right, and that's hard to do, but it is actually overdriving that radio. It's very hard to overdrive a Browning, and you are doing it.
Okay, hang on here. This one has the amplifier on the bottom, and what I did was, since it's supposed to get its voltage from the radio, which it can't get from this one with a 2-pin plug, unless I put a certain little circuit in there. I put a battery in it. Anyway, let's see here. Let's see. Okay, I think I turned it down. How's that?
Yeah, go ahead and get close to the microphone, and we'll see where it's at, because that'll get your voice a little, closer and cozier. And Mike T says, it makes me miss my old Regency Imperial. I have one, I miss it too, with that. Was that the 6BQ5 push-pull DSB AM, the double sideband suppressed carrier AM, when people think, the radio's only putting out 1.5. And then you key the microphone in and talk, and it's like, whoa, what's going on here? They figured it out. All right, so Harvey, are you on the prior Browning, or is this a new Browning with a different microphone?
No, this is the Bagel. This is the Bagel with the 776 mic. I turned it down, though.
Okay, and I think that's better. You could probably turn it down even more, but the mushy, the kind of what sounded like overdriving is gone. It's untypically having a large low frequency bass note to it. Typically the Brownings don't do that, but that one does, and that's not a bad thing to say. But I would say you definitely don't want to go up from there. You could probably go down more, especially if you were in a noisy room. You'd probably have to turn it down some more.
How's that? That's almost off.
Okay, now how far away from the microphonium are you?
I'm about 8 to 10 inches away.
Okay, that sounds like you now. It's taken the room noise out of your out of the mix, but it has lost a little bit of punch. So I'm going to say at that setting, you probably need to be a little bit closer. It's not bad. You could go up a skosh, but I like the way your voice sounds with that.
Okay, I scoshed it a bit. Alrighty, I've got that other mic here too. I'm going to try it. You're going to go. You're probably going to go. Don't use that mic in a minute here.
Okay, well, we'll see if we'll have an episode of the don't use that mic frequency. Not bad. Where you're at now, I know you don't like to crowd the mic, so it's probably working well. Although the quality of your voice is really good on that lower one. You just have to get a little closer. Just, you add room noise and things like that. Good. Definitely good from where it started. Listeners up and down the states, from here and there, from far and wide, listening in at oldtuberadio.net, joining us on the video, saying they like the sound of that radio, including hello Albert and the gang, the Squamish boys, checking in with us here as we wind up, or is it wind down? I don't know. It's like that get up, get down thing on CB radio. Year 2022 with some great radios. Thanks, Harvey. And do the next test. We'll be listening.
37.
And test no more. 37, who has Radio 8, over.
Alrighty. Well, we made it in here. I got one more after this here, but I would like to check in my crisp 23 plus CB transceiver, 23 channel tuber, and we are running this here with, I know for a fact, this is the stock original handheld microphone cut. It says Chris right on it. Over.
Yes, it does. And I'm enjoying my radios. Thanks, Rob, if you're still listening. He had to go and do some magic stuff on the oldtuberadio.com database. I mean, Rob had this thing up and running, before 2000. Yeah, I think we were one of the first things where we had our own little page going on, and Rob was the guy that figured all that stuff out, and he's still doing it. When the goofy net guy says, I can't get my pictures, he says, oh, hang on. Oh, I'll fix it for you, and he did. So here we go. With Chris 23 Plus, a Robin Panasonic 2 chassis in disguise, but it's got the mod light. At least it's got something to look at, over.
Oh, yes, and it's definitely blinking when I'm talking, over.
As well it should, indicating that you do have modulation as in the MOD. Although, if you want to see mod, you can watch the video replay and take a look at my mod leisure suit I'm wearing today.
Okay, I'm right near my phone to get it pulled up right now, but I will try to pull it up later.
Yeah, later is in, like, I don't know, 2025. That would be the perfect later. Radio 8, sooner than later. The Chris 23 Plus, AM plate modulated. Will go 12 volt DC if you've got the proper cable, and I'm looking, and that also runs 12AX7 in the audio. Not quite as punchy. I mean, it sounds good. Maybe not quite as brute force as the general radio telephone, but it's in the good class, over.
Oh, well, good. All right, well, I'm going to get off here with this here. I have one more warmed up. All I got to do is flip the switch.
All right, good deal. And yes, Foxman, you are indeed correct. The Chris 23 Plus is a copycat of the Robin, of the Gem Marine products. Is that if you take the case off and ignore whatever they put or didn't put on the front, it is the Panasonic second chassis with 11 tubes. It does basin mobile. Says it's plate modulated, and there is an operator's manual, not a schematic, but an operator's manual at oldtuberadio.com. Jingle singers are, they're right in front of the microphonium. They'll be doing this for you right now.
What are the magic numbers?
27.085 megahertz, channel 11.
Are the magic letters?
OTR.
Right here in
Fresno, California.
Radio Magic.
Old Tube Radio.
For you.
And we are listening for radio number 9. 60. And we have 9 and 10. believe I heard Chris in there. We'll take you for radio number 9. Joe, 60, will get us into the double digits at radio 10. And was there another station? Oh, yeah, all right. Hold that thought, Harvey. You will be radio 11 as we try to say nice things about your audio. So you've got about 5 minutes to get your act together. Over to radio 9, Chris, out there in North Fresno, where, that little storm that you promised was coming my way indeed did. And it lasted, 10, 15 minutes. And it was a doozy. Lots of wind, lots of rain, and then away it went. So I didn't have the weather map up, but you obviously had a little cell stop by. The antenna is still up, as I know yours is, so take a transmission.
Oh, yeah. It was definitely a hard one that came through. Anyway, Dennis, I would like to check in my G PowerMate, Gem Marine Products. This is a 23-channel tuber that glows in the dark. This is the pretty blue one here. And I am running this here with an amplified D104 lollipop, over.
All right, the Gem Marine Products G PowerMate. And there it is. There's a picture coming up. Okay, we got to talk about that microphone because it sounds like it's way, way up too high. It's getting distortion.
I might have been a little bit too close. How's that?
It has a funky sound. It sounds like it's turned up way too high.
Just 1 second.
But the radio is actually handling it. It's trying to make it sound as good as it can. But I think it's saying, "Help me."
I know. Is that too low?
All right. Let's do a close-up on this radio, because I think, does it not have a? Oh, it doesn't. It doesn't have a range expand. I was going to say just turn the range expand off, but you don't have one. So, yeah, you probably have to come up just a little bit more.
Okay. How's that?
All right. Say a few words to our listening audience.
A few words for our listening audience. We are trying to get this thing. If I need to, I can come up more, or I can bring it all. I had it all the way down at one time, but, I knew it wasn't going to do nothing there. Over.
Yeah, you know what? I brought the order band meter, and if you're right on the mic, it's good, but if you do normal talking, you got to bring it up a little bit, unless you want to really put that microphone in front of your face.
Oh, okay. How's that right there?
All right, I think you may have it. This seems to be mic check night, and that's not a bad thing. The Gem Marine Products G PowerMate, fine-tuned volume squelch, and not only a TX light, but an RX light, but no, see, there you go, no mod light on this one, so you're lost. No, what you have to do is turn it to, what do? You turn the meter to RF, and it probably will wiggle a little bit.
Well, it does have a light that when I key up, it gets very red, and then when I unkey, it turns very green, over.
Yeah, see, and then the other one, your prior radio, which is the same chassis, the Chris 23 Plus, they gave you the mod light. It's like, why not give you the mod light? I don't know. I don't know the workings on these Panasonic chassis, but there you go. You got a TX RX light, but the mod light's nowhere to be found. But they give you a switch on the meter to go RF, and you look for the wiggle meter on that. You are sounding good. Radio number 9, Gemtronics, the G PowerMate, and there's another blue radio. We're looking straight on, so we don't get to see the case that's all blue. But if you were into blue, you would want this next to your Hustler. Back to you for transmission, and thanks for bringing it by.
Okay, well, this was it for this year for me. This is all the radios that I have. Well, I've still got more radios, but not tubers. But anyway, this is it, and I do thank you, Dennis, for being out there, for letting us all have this here time, and we thank you for doing this here for, what is it, 35, roughly 36 years? I've been around here for dang near all of it except for about a year and a half there. Yes, I got to hand it to you. You have done a wonderful job, and please keep doing the job for us. Thank you.
All right, well, as you very well know, there's been many people involved with the Old Tube Radio Network. One of them who just fixed the database, Rob, still in there working, and Jim and Kevin and all the net controllers, Les and Dee and Fred and Ida and Curly and Mr. Ed, and I think, let's see, Mr. Desert Rat, and there's been others sitting in the air chair keeping this thing going. Back in the day when I was working a lot at the station, I remember climbing up the ladder at Channel 30 in the back of the studio and opening a hatch, going on the second-story roof of my walkie-talkie downtown, and checking in with the current net controller. So yeah, we've done a lot to keep this going, and it's going because of people like you that want to check in the radios, our shortwave listeners that enjoy listening to aforementioned radios, and then with, 10 years ago, 5 years ago, the addition of the worldwide Universal Media Netweb, joining our other friends who do likewise things, who do similar things with their radios, and get on the air night. So it's all working out good. So we're looking for good to 2023. Thank you, Chris. Who is next? Joe is standing by. Over.
Thank you much, there, Dennis. I'd like to check in my pretty green radio. Doggone it, the Robin 123B.
Okay, perfect in line, as we are not intentionally, but we are featuring, or seem to be featuring, I'll bring up this radio, the Panasonic chassis, of which the Robin T123 is one, and probably the one, or one of the models that has all of the lights out front. There's that mod light, like on the Chris 23 Plus. There's that TX and RX light, similar to the Gem Marine products that we just had, but they've added a range expand that wasn't on the other two radios, an external speaker, a PA switch that wasn't on the other two radios, an RF gain control that wasn't on the other two radios. This is deluxe stuff. Over.
Oh, Dennis, this is my fun radio. I don't want to start back at this radio. Backside.
Uh-oh. We got a bad connection, friends.
Which I think already won. It works great. Coming to the front there, boy. You just feel like a pilot in an airplane. You have all these controls, fantastic controls looking at it. I feel a little important when I run this thing.
Okay, you had a bad connection on your audio. Check your mod light. Go ahead and take another transmission. Make sure we're blinking here.
Okay. Hopefully I didn't lose the mic. The mic did, that is. I'm on a D104 power mic. Kind of looks like it is kind of going out on me a little bit. Maybe I'll get a little closer to the microphone. Is that any better?
It's louder, but it's got the cracklings, like there's a bad connection. It's definitely keying the radio up, so the problem's not there in the keying circuit. But it sounds like it, if it's a amplified mic, maybe the little connections, rotary controls need to be tweaked a bit, or maybe it's just sad that you haven't used it.
Doggone it, we try to stay on these radios, keep them a little active. Let me change it over to the hand mic and see if it doesn't carry over to the stock mic.
Okay, yeah, occasionally the audio will come up, so it's something in that microphonium circuit. So I'll chat a little bit so you can get the radio changed over. Panasonic second chassis, yeah, definitely not like the 240D. That is another style, with its 40 channels. From Panasonic. All right, well, it's microphone night. It just happened that way. So I think you said you're going to the stock mic, which is a little tiny. We've got a picture of it right in the front. The little tiny microphonium. Let's see if it works.
See, I can make a growling sound.
Yeah, we're going to find out. You're next. We're going to find out how is it even possible to do that.
Okay, Dennis, we changed over to the stock microphone. I'm just wondering if the mic head on my T104 is not going out, or it possibly could be the radio.
Well, now that I hear that microphone, I hear sort of the same issue. where it's trying, it's doing, I think I can, but the audio is a bit on the static set. I don't know. Turn your channel selector. The range expand. Turn the range expand off and on. They've got a bad connection somewhere.
Oh, okay. Well, then that's something I'm going to have Harvey look at. In fact, I think it might be due for a tune-up. Okay. Well, we thank you. We got it checked in for the last time this year, and we'll be looking forward maybe to next year checking it in.
Yeah, because it's trying. Flip your range expand, back and forth at one time. See if that's it.
Okay, we did kind of move it a little bit there. I don't know. She might need a little tune-up job.
Yeah, because I can hear occasionally it'll come in and it'll be clear. So it's sort of a clarity thing going on there. Boy, what a difference in that microphone. You go from, the big strapping guy that you are, it like takes 3 feet off of you. So it's like, who is that? Who's that little guy in the microphone? It sounds good, but boy, what a difference.
I guess back in the day, people kind of lived off these microphones. This is the original 123B microphone. Doggone it. Anyway, we thank you much, and Happy New Year to you, and this will be my last radio for tonight.
Okay, and that transmission right there wasn't too bad. The issue went away. So, okay, before you go, just because we can, and I'm putting the suspense up to Harvey, who is next, and let me tell you, no matter what you can do to your radio, any audio that you have is going to sound better than what we're probably going to hear on the next radio. So go ahead and put the other microphonium back on, and maybe we worked it out. Maybe it's like an old guy. Maybe it's like an old net control guy that, when he gets out of the chair, oh man, it's a little hard to walk, and then he starts moving and raising his arms, and at some point it's like, hey, I can walk again. I feel good. So anyway, try the original microphonium and before you go, and we'll see what happens over on the old Tube Radio Network.
Tell him to slap the top of the radio.
Hey, Harvey, that's good. I like that. But the damn thing's too hot.
Yeah, they run hot. You know what? I think you're back in business. I think things are good. To take a transmission, Joe.
Well, I've got a little contact cleaner here. I may go through this thing one time anyway to, kind of freshen up the buttons and everything on there. But according to the old meter there, she's doing the waltz.
Yeah, it is. You're sounding good. The Orban meter's back moving how it should, and it is doing good. So it just needed a little, and that's what the old Tube Radio Network is for. It just needed to be driven around the block, and blow that black smoke out of the tailpipe, and the tires. They were going thump, 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 and now the tires are smooth. It's good to go.
We appreciate it, Dennis. Hey, okay, well, we'll get on out of here, and thanks, Harvey. The radio's just a little too warm on the top there to slap. Have a fine one. Take care, Dennis. Happy New Year.
All right, Happy New Year indeed. Let's get to Harvey, and then I'll sign out so people can continue whatever they do. Those of you in 2023, thanks for joining us on what was the last net of 2022, and what appears to be, since we spill over into the next year, the first net signing off on 2023. All right, Harvey, it is your turn, and our expectations, or your expectations of bad audio, are definitely not going to be disappointing.
Well, I don't know. This has a gain control and compression. Okay, you can tell me.
Okay, I think you said it had gain control and compression, and I'm letting the Orban meter come down because it was over the top. So I'm going to say gain, control, and compression. Gain's got to come down, the first thing is the gain's got to come down. Then it's got a muffly sound that's probably overcompressed. So if the controls have a slider, then, in the center between left and right is a good way to start. If they have a rotary knob, then at 12 o'clock is a good way to start with everything, and then we can work from there over.
Okay, the gain both knobs just peer out of the side. No numbers, no nothing. The gain is down now. How's that?
Okay, that takes care of the flat topping over modulation, so it's easier, but not really easy to understand you. You still have an item, which in the audio world is a no-no. You have all this energy at like 150, 200, 300, which is really, really bad, or maybe down at 160. I'm thinking that's the compression, so you need to back the compression up.
Okay, compression's up all the way, and now it's going down. Okay, almost off right now.
Okay, almost off is probably where it needs to be. That didn't solve the muffly sound, so that's bespeaking of the element has got an issue, or just... So you've got gain. What's with the third control?
Well, the compression is off right now, and there it's on a little bit. I think it's a little dirty though.
Okay, now bring the compression up just a hair more.
Okay, that's compression up a hair more.
All right, that's not bad. That is actually acceptable, an item of interest, over.
Okay, what about the gain control?
All right, to your gain control, go ahead and I'm looking at the S meter right now rather than the Orban meter to see where your max signal is at. That tells me once you get up to the max signal and sound good, we're good on the gain. Because you can add all the audio you want and you're not going to get any more signal. You've reached your headroom. So, yeah, I would go to the gain and turn it up just a little bit.
Okay, I turned the gain up a little bit there. Max headroom. I like that guy.
Yeah, remember good old max headroom. All right, when you key up next time, and again, we're watching the S meter, go ahead and get close to the microphone or talk loudly. I want to see how much forward movement is left, if any.
Okay, I'm about 8 inches away, but I'm talking a little louder.
Okay, now talk how you would normally talk, where you would like to hold the microphone in.
Okay, right about there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
That's weird. It seems like it gets mufflier when it's farther away, which shouldn't be the case. Yeah, you could probably go maybe with just a little bit more gain, but not much. It's about right, because when you talk loudly, your audio is peaking, or your signal's peaking up. So any other addition's just going to start adding bad to it.
Okay, let me turn this thing over. Okay, this is a 619 TR Dynamic Shure desk mic. Got the little meter on the front that doesn't move at all because I don't have the compression up high enough, and then it just bounces all over. But anyway, I just thought I'd play with it. I've got 2 of these. Anyway, I think I'm going to go back to another mic, but I want to check in one last radio real quick.
Okay, and this is the place to do it. Yeah, that's it. That's where you want to have it. It's certainly not stellar, but when you came in, it was like, well, it's real loud, but I can't understand a word you're saying. And man, that element has got some issues. It has no articulate high frequencies. It has none of the good low frequencies. So what else good can I say about that? And it has a ton of the, when I work in the audio rack, the sound that I'm hearing is what I try to get rid of. that range of frequencies is what you try to roll off and have everything around it come in. So, okay, not as bad as I sound. Watch the replay. You'll be really pleased at how it ended, because how it began was not a good thing. Room for your for your radio coming up, the Jingle Singer's here, and then we'll be signing out so we can bring in the new year here, and the old tube net controller can get out of the polyester suit. You are listening to the Old Tube Radio Network.
You're tuned to
OTR. Channel 11.
right here in
Fresno, California.
Stay with us
Old Tube Radio.
and be modern.
Okay, I'll try this one.
Harvey's back.
Yeah, with this radio, I think I sound a tad better.
Yeah, you know, it's you should have put Tad on the microphone to begin with.
Okay, this is the White Space Johnson with the original high-speed tone mic that came with it.
Wow, that's I will call that plain radio. That's not a bad thing. It is not 2-2. It sounds like you. It's not, in your face. But it's good old plain radio. So if you wanted to have somebody says, well, what does this old tube radio that you speak about? What does that sound like? I think we could put that on, and it would just, that's what it sounds like.
Alrighty. High-speed tone mic, original cartridge, I believe. Somebody replaced it with an original cartridge, which is a dinky little thing. But I'm talking about 8 inches away from it, and it seems to reflect on the meter. Oh yeah, this thing really moves. I like this thing. Anyway, this was the parts radio that I said, maybe I can get it working. And yeah, it works really good, I think. Got really great receive though. You guys sound great on it.
They do have good receive. It's just the adjacent channel. I got to be careful that you don't have somebody really strong right next to you. And I've got a picture of the Johnson Messenger, 59, 60, 61. This was the first CB radio. This is what they were. It was plain stuff. Turn it on, grab a microphone. Don't worry about an S meter. Not has to be technical. Set your channel or whatever if you can find it. Put the speaker in the front and you're good to go. Loaf of bread ready. It's even got, I don't know if you've got still have the red paint or the red lines around the volume control. Was it squelch? It was weird how they did it. It was squelch and volume and something. And you had to be careful because you would turn the wrong one and you would think the radio was dead because you had the squelch turned up. But anyway, it looks good. And this is showing what you call the ice cream cone microphone, which is a static microphone that has the cable in the rear and the element in the other end and then little slide switch on top, right?
That's correct. Yes. It just doesn't have the little Viking head in the center. It's missing that, but once I find that, I'm going to put it on it. And there's a possibility this might be for sale because I've got another one sitting on the shelf with a D104 wire to it. But I don't need two. Well, unless my name is Paul up there in the hills, you got to have two of everything. But yeah, I might. I'll know more in a week or two.
Sorry about that. You got me counting the mounting. All right. Well, you're a busy guy. Go at your own pace. But that is a very acceptable, nice sounding radio. And I think we did a frequency check on it last week, and it was right on. It sounded marvelous. Looks like a toaster radio. Can you make toast on that? I don't think it gets hot like the Robin does.
I could make it get hot.
All right. Well, anyway, those are nice radios. They can be modified. You can, probably do the controlled carrier trick. I might even be able to push it up on 10 meters. Let's see. Oh, one picture here that I want to, if it will work. Okay, it's not working. So much for that. I was going to show a picture of, we have a Johnson Messenger. Here it is. Johnson Messenger in Elvis Presley's limo. Photo courtesy of boldride.com. And so I know that dashboard, that looks like a Lincoln Continental, like a 1960 or a 59. I could be wrong, but it looks like a Lincoln Continental interior. And the radio is mounted to what I'm sure is the metal dashboard underneath. There's plenty of room in the car because all the controls are with the driver's side. And it's got a microphone. I don't know what microphone that is with it, but it's definitely not the one you've got. And it looks pretty cool in there. So, this is the radio of Elvis.
I wonder why this wasn't pinging. Oh boy, getting old here. Hey, I'm going to key up another thing, and you tell me how it sounds. It'll be interesting.
Okay, this is the, I hope it's interesting, frequency. Go ahead if you are ready, and I'll be listening.
Okay. How does this thing sound?
Not too bad. Not too bad. I mean, it's the Johnson's giving it competition, I'll tell you that.
Okay, now it's not. How's the quality of the sound?
Wow, the sound is good. Again, for Browning, it's got a lot of really decent low tones in there. Over.
Well, what I happen to have up on the shelf is a dynamic cartridge mic. The head of the mic is identical to that Shure mic that didn't sound good with the compressor and all that. And you said, well, maybe the cartridge is kind of shaky. Well, maybe it is. Well, this one is unamplified. It's basically a semi-G stand, but it's not a Browning stand, a static stand. This is a Shure something. Oh, wait. Let me see if I can lock it on. Whoops. I guess I can't. Let's see. I got to turn it around. This is an Electro Voice model 638 mic. It's got the head that's identical to that Shure mic.
Oh, all right. The 638. Well, those are made for the impedance, the tube radio impedance, so it should work. It doesn't have a bad sound. It's got some highs and lows and all of that, and it plays well with others. Over.
Alrighty. It's not as live because it doesn't have the highs, but I'm glad it works with this. I might find a Browning to put it on. You're listening to the Golden Bagel right now with this mic on it. Okay, you've got to go. I've got to get some sleep. I did work up there, Modesto, in the rain, and I got to get up work tomorrow, so busy time of the year for me. Anyway, I got back on time because I left real early. Anyway, I wanted to make the show. Okay, turn it back to you, and we're done.
All right, we're glad you did. Yeah, with my different work here, it's weird not having to work, every holiday and be there early in the morning and stuff. But it is what it is. And so, Harvey, did you make your New Year's resolution that at the end of 2023 you won't be driving to Modesto?
Well, I think by the end of next year, I might not be physically able to be doing all this stuff anymore. But we'll see. I'd like to physically be able to do it, but not have to. But we'll see.
All right. Well, we'll be out installing antennas or something like that. Doing fun stuff. It may not pay as good, but it'll be more satisfying. All right, thanks for your radios tonight. We've done lots of microphonium checks. I will say we've got counting and mounting, so anybody else with tube radios, and then I will get out of here. Happy New Year to those of you listening and watching that are already in 2023, and it seems to be working for you, so I know it's going to work for us. OTR listening. Okay, and then is it Mr. Announcer said? The orchestra said.
Ladies and gentlemen, time now for the current OTR totals.
The current and the final totals. Oh, you can see all those wiggly lights up there. See all this? Where is it? Right here, way over here. All those wiggly lights that show you that the sound of OTR is actually working. Not very good. I should just get one of those microphones that Harvey has. Let's see what's happening here on the final episode of 2022. I just don't think when we were all sitting around in wherever it was, pick a year, 1988, 1992, 1999, that we could even imagine. One, that I would be wearing the stupid suit, and two, that all the efforts that we put in and still putting in from everybody, whether you're on this side of the microphone and the other side of the radio, this would still be happening, or that anybody would be interested. But it's actually picked up, and it's done quite well, and it's a satisfying thing. It's a fun thing to do. When you have that radio sickness, right? You can step away from the radio, but you always come back, and there's always some mystery. There's always some mystery about whether you're just listening and you tune on the receiver and you hear whatever it is. You don't know what it is. You don't know where it is, but it's coming into you. And there's no wires connected to the house or anything like that. It's just floating. It's like a little balloon. It's just floating. And all of a sudden it goes, and it's sucked in your radio, and now it's in the room, and it's yours. It's just pretty cool. So it's also good to be a part of that. We send out our balloons here every week at the Old Tube Radio Network, and if somebody enjoys, picking them up and carrying them around a little bit, cool stuff. So get on the air, right? Get on the air, won't you? Or for those of you who are studying for your amateur radio license or upgrades or whatever, just so you can have different frequencies, different modes, different things to do in that cool realm of two-way radio, whatever it might be. 72 listeners tonight, 19 on page 1, 19 on page 2, 15 on page 3, and 19 on page 4. We are in week 3, so we'll be halfway through the list next year. Starting on the 7th, it says on my chart. Radios tonight, there were 10. I think I got that right. And the most heard looks like it would be the Brownings. We started with the Sonar Model H. Cliff brought that by. And then we actually heard the Browning Golden Eagle Mark IV first, but I wanted to get Sean from Sanger in there. The Mark IV taking its final transmission of 2022. It'll be back in 2023. Hopefully the Mark III will be back on the air shelf working good. Cobra Cam 88 out there from Sanger. And I hope we hear more from that radio operator. It looks like she's got a great voice for putting through there, and a perfect operating thing. Just when I didn't hear things, just repeat again what you said. There are ham radio operators that have been on the air for 50 years that don't even know how to operate as well as she was. So perfect. Let's go to, and that was the Cobra Cam 88. Radio number 4 from Hustler, World Radio Labs. Thanks, Joe, for that. A favorite. SWL 109, Crawdad on the 23S9 R2700 Browning. I would venture to guess that, along with our E.F. Johnson, was the oldest radio tonight. There's an operator who is operating radios that are definitely older than he is. Definitely made before before he was on the air. But that's pretty cool. That's what's always fun to drive an old car, you know, that's older than you are. There aren't many I can find like that, but even with the radios, it's cool to have one of those old 1930s radios or whatever. Let's go to, that was radio number 5. Thanks, Crawdad, for that. Radio number 6, the Browning Golden Eagle R68 T68. The Bagel. Different microphone names. Chris on the General Radio Telephone Super MC11A. And he followed that with the Chris 23 Plus. And then he followed that with the Gemtronics G PowerMate. So 2 Panasonic radios and one of those. They don't make them like that anymore. The General Radio Telephone. Their own design. I don't know if anybody copied that, but it was a doggone good radio. And radio number 10, the Robin T123B from Joe. All right. Got to go check to see if we had any wacky damage from that quick little storm that came through. As you can see, it's calm. The air is nice and cool. I've got, it's going to be an hour or so before it gets 2023, so I'm going to go out and be a party animal in my leisure suit and my pocket protector and have some fun. Hopefully you will too. Thanks for joining us, the Old Tube Radio Network, wrapping up for 2022. And yeah, we're going to be around for 2023, hoping all this stuff holds up. The operators hold up, and we will be around. We'll catch you later here on the Old Tube Radio Network.
Thank you, Dennis. Once again, Happy New Year to you. Be safe.
Yeah, we're gonna stay inside here around noontime. As you know, it'll be a little bit safer inside with something over your head.
Oh yeah, because they're going off already, and they don't sound like cherry bombs. They sound like dynamite.
Dynamite, and I haven't heard the gunfire yet. And Tyler, stay classy. I will do my best. Thanks, Rob, if you're listening, for getting the pictures back up. It really does help. It really makes the video go well, and it gives me something to do. We'll catch you later on your Old Tube Radio Network.
One little correction. The reason those heads of those mics look the same, or are the same, is because that one with the compressor is actually an Electro Voice 619TR. The fact that it has a big medallion on the front that says EV and Electro Voice on the bottom in script didn't give me a clue the first time. Okay, definitely time to go to bed.
Indeed. All right. Live December 20 to January 21 on your video. Oh, well, you know, we started in 20. It's a time to go to bed. I'm trying to think how this will show up. Because we started in, well, see, it's still 2022 at the operating position. But we'll see what happens. We'll see how it shows up. All right. Back to doing stuff here on the Old Tube Radio Network.
Hey, Joe?
Yes, sir.
When it cools down and you pop the top to that radio, wiggle the 6BQ5 and the 12AX7 around a little bit, the audio tubes. Just wiggle them around a little bit. That might be it.
Okay, we will. Appreciate that. Yeah, we'll do that tomorrow. Obviously, it's too hot right now to play with it, but yeah, we'll do that tomorrow. And Happy New Year to you, Harvey, and be safe and don't work so hard.
Tell me about it. Thank you very much. You have a good New Year. Yeah, well, actually, today wasn't as bad as I thought it was until I had to come home in the downpour. I was looking for Noah and his ark.
I'm going to tell you, I made that trip many a times out there, Turlock, Modesto. Yeah, we practically lived out there. And, yeah, I'm very familiar with the downpours, especially around Madera. And one day I got dumb and
and got between two semis, and that wasn't a good idea.
Oh, no, that's not good at all. When I went through Madera, where Madera Community Hospital is, I looked over at their information sign. It wasn't raining at all south of Merced, per se, but when I saw the Madera information sign for the hospital, community hospital, it said ER and the hospital is closed.
Yeah, last week they started announcing that. My wife had surgery there not too long ago, and those poor people out there, they're shutting down that hospital. That old girl Sora is trying to raise $5 million to get it open for about a week. You know, from the I should say these the White House or whatever it is, but she's trying to get up $5 million. Now they need $55 million to stay open, and another $35 for next year to keep running. But yeah, $5 million wouldn't even carry them a week.
Hey, Roger. Well, it's a nice hospital. It's right near the freeway. I don't know. Do they have another hospital there? I thought I saw something that reminds me of a hospital. Another one closer to downtown along the freeway.
Yeah, that might be a convalescent home. There is no other hospital there that I know of. We went to that one there. Of course, I knew about it. But yeah, people are forced. They're already transferring patients here in these hospitals, and we can't handle too many of them. But yeah, if you're in Madera, and yeah, you've got a problem, any kind of health problem. Yeah, you're going to have to work your way down here, and that's a little drive back and forth, especially for one that doesn't have a very good car.
Hey, Roger. Okay, well, that's a shame. I don't like to hear about that. Oh, yeah, Fresno's got, what is that hospital that closed at Cedar and Ventura? I mean, it's just, they're using the building for something, but during the real bad part of COVID, they were thinking of reopening it, but they never did. Okay, I gotta go. I gotta get to sleep. That's one thing I should do. Alrighty, Joe. Take it easy, and yeah, only slap it when it's cold.
Okay, I will. I'll do that. Yeah, that was Valley Medical. I attended that hospital many years, and they should have opened it. But anyway, appreciate it, and sleep well, and drive safe tomorrow.
You got it. Fortunately, I only have to go to Sanger and back. Okay, we'll see you. Bye. I don't believe it. Are you an Eskimo now, Cliff?
I think so. Oh, man. I got your back here just in time for you to go away.
Well, good thing it's a tube radio. You can warm your hands.
No, it's nice out here now. It was raining earlier when I was out here. That was no fun. But it's not too bad out here now. Incidentally, that radio of yours there is extremely loud.
Well, I wanted to piss off your neighbors.
Yeah, it's between you and Joe out there. I opened up the back door and went, "Who's back here?"
You better check all your radios.
Yeah. Oh man, is this thing still sounding okay?
It's never sounded not okay.
Well, that deserves one of these.
Yeah, I can't do that. All I could do is this here.
I thought you were going to do the Johnson call.
Well, the Johnson call only works with the Messenger 2, and that's up on the shelf, and I'm a tired baby.
Oh, so it was just too much effort, huh?
Yeah, I might do it next week, I don't know. And then I might get the MC5 out, and, you know, see if the Martians attack again.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about the MC5. How come you didn't bring that one out? But, hey, it's good to have the Golden Eagle squeals out there. But, no, I forgot all about the MC5. You should have definitely brought that out.
Well, it's not a